What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy, James Eek, and we are back today with the Pro Team Building Series Episode 3 with Alca. Alca, say what's poppin'.
What up, guys?
Hey, guys, we are here today, Episode 3, and I just want to let you guys know that episodes are going to be coming out on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so 3 episodes a week. So when you guys see this right now, it will be Wednesday, so what's poppin' Wednesday? And yeah, today we are going to start fleshing out the team, guys. So the notes that we went over were what Gyarados Raichu are strong against and what they are weak against. And then we had a brainstorming activity where we kind of talked about things that we want to try and incorporate into the team. We're not sure if we will be able to fit everything, but these are the notes we've got, and we're going to start fleshing out our team. So yeah. Alrighty, so pretty much we are going to be logging our ideas and our whole conversation of what we are going to be doing. So, Alca, do you have anything you want to start off the team with? I know you liked the idea of Hitmontop and Duraludon.
I really did, yeah. I think especially Hitmontop is. I really want Hitmontop to really try it at least. See how it goes, because I think it's a good addition.
Yeah, great. I definitely would like Intimidate to help Gyarados. You know, all the rock moves, physical rock moves that are threatening him. I like Fake Out, of course, and then even maybe Wide Guard. We can go into that, but Hitmontop is really cool. Yeah. I was just gonna say, I think having 2 Fake Outs is not really a problem. I think the more the merrier.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, I mean, even with Dynamax and then triple Ghost running around, it is a bit annoying, but it is very good.
Yeah, it's very good.
Okay, cool. And then, so, as you can see, we've just hit our Hitmontop here in the notes. And then the other thing that, so Helping Hand, Hitmontop could run, but Raichu could run that as well.
Could run, yeah. Yeah, so we could have both.
We will think about that later, but something that I want to bring up is already the hard Trick Room counter. Now, I know that you were thinking of Duraludon, which I think is very cool. So Duraludon with Dragon Tail is a very good answer to Trick Room, but I don't think it's quite enough. We were talking about Gothitelle, which I think Gothitelle is pretty cool, but yeah, I guess what else do you think could help encapsulate like a good answer to Trick Room?
Well, I guess it depends on like what kind of answer he wants. We could go for something that prevents them from setting up Trick Room, like Dragon Tail or Imprison. We could also go for something that is good in Trick Room, like say a Snorlax, just to name something. So I mean, it kind of depends on what we want to do against Trick Room, what we're trying to do. So yeah. What do you think?
So I personally, with Gyarados and Raichu, I would prefer just try to not let them set it up at all instead of try to function well under it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. And yeah, because I mean, lots of teams can do well with that. You know, if you're like a Conkeldurr team or a Snorlax team, you can do fine under Trick Room. Or even like Grimmsnarl with screens, you know, it's like, okay, I'll let them set it up, but I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna like kind of tank it out. But I think with Gyarados Raichu, just the nature of the team, we should just try to not let it set up.
Sounds good.
So we have Fake Out, Intimidate, and Dragon Tail. So it's pretty fine already. We don't have to stack up too hard with the other stuff we wanted, but we both did say that we want a Defiant or competitive Mon.
That would be good, yeah.
So let's take a look at the competitive Mons. I think it's just Milotic. It's Milotic, Gothitelle, Meowstic, and then Boltund doesn't even actually have it. So
yeah, I know.
I mean, to be honest, Milotic is definitely up there. I don't think having 2 water types is just inherently bad, but
no, me neither. Yeah, we have a Lightning Rod, and it helps, of course, with the weeds and stuff. So I don't think it's like necessarily bad. But I mean, it's something to consider, I guess.
I totally agree. And okay, so here's the Defiant list, and pretty much it's like Bisharp, Braviary, Passimian, and Obstagoon. You know, I don't think Farfetch'd and Phalanx are really killing it here. But
families, man.
I guess let's take a look at the stuff that we are weak against. So Dusclops was kind of hard Trick Room as a whole, so Duraludon's going to help us with that. And then opposing Duraludon could still look like an issue right now.
Yeah, it does.
So that is something to think about. Passimian on paper is pretty good. And Bisharp is also pretty good against Duraludon as well, just because it resists both Steel and Dragon, and if he wants to max Wormland, he's going to raise our Defiant attack. So something to think about. And then Rhyperior, honestly, Passimian also looks the best against Rhyperior. And Tyranitar.
I think Passimian is good. Like, possibly it could be problematic with the fighting types as well. I don't know. That's really a problem, but it's something to consider, I guess. But I think Passimian is good, especially with Rhyperior and Tyrantars and all that stuff. We could have issues with,
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't. I wasn't thinking about the 2 fighting types. I kind of forgot Hitmontop was a fighting type. I forgot he was a type. I was like, oh, he's just our support guy. But honestly, looking at Bisharp is good against Dragon Pulse, Sucker Punch, good against T-Tar, okay against Rhyperior. Like, they hit each other super effective. We're going to hope they never get Trick Room up. And then it's okay against Duraludon, it's good against Dusclops, and then it's okay against Gastrodon. So, like, Bisharp does look pretty cool. I know you were a bit hesitant
as well.
Okay,
yeah, no, actually, I started out being a bit hesitant because it's because of its speed and stuff. But I actually like playing against it in the past week. I kind of respect it more actually because like it's a good Defiant, of course, but it's also kind of good against the triple ghosts, of course.
Yes.
It has the Sucker Punch, and I mean it can dish out some good damage and just be a really useful mon in general.
Yeah.
So I think it's might not be too bad actually.
Okay, yeah, I would definitely like to try it out. So, but then looking at our mons right now, we have 3 ground weeks. While we do have an Intimidate and we have Gyarados, you know, kind of like I talked about in the last episode, ground and rock are kind of hand in hand, you know, like Rhyperior, like Excadrill. Yeah, we should definitely think about that. Our last mon should definitely be a mon that is going to make our matchup against that ground rock kind of stuff a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, there's always like a Rotom with Levitate, of course. But, could be decent, but then again, it's the whole which Rotom would we want then? I guess.
I was gonna say Rotom is cool. We do have to watch out for potential Thunderbolt stuff with Raichu, unless we wanted to run a different move.
Yeah, that's the problem, of course. But I think I agree. We need something for ground types and rock types. Like it's the same thing. So, yeah.
And then our team is on paper a bit slow. Bisharp, Duraludon, Top, Raichu. So Raichu and Gyarados are the only speed control at the moment. So if we can find a speed controller that isn't too bad against the ground and rock types, you know, we might not be able to find that. But
no, that's the first thing that pops up in my mind is like Whimsicott or something, but it's. I don't know if it fits that team that well. I guess it's actually pretty decent with Bisharp, I think, because it makes Bisharp that much more dangerous with the higher speed. So I think it's like it could be okay, I guess, but I don't know. I kind of also like something, even though that's another ground weakness. But we talked about Tyranitar earlier last time. I kind of also want to try Tyranitar in some way, but I don't know. We'll find out.
I mean, this first team we make is definitely not going to be perfect.
No.
We're kind of going to figure out all these brainstorming things that we feel like we actually need, if that makes sense. So, yeah, this first team will definitely not be perfect. But Whimsicott is cool. I like the speed control because, you know, Whimsicott, Duraludon right there. That combo is amazing.
That's also a combo for sure.
And then I think Whimsicott helps out Bisharp really well. And then against certain teams where we really need Tailwind up, we could even go with one of the Fake Outers and Whimsicott. I am down to try it out. We will just have to play as best we can versus the ground types. But I mean, we can take a look here, and I guess we should, now that we've kind of got 6 Pokemon in the builder, we should just try to figure out what Pokemon's doing what. Just to give a little perspective to the viewer. So, I mean, Gyarados Raichu, of course, guys, we are going to have no matter what. And Gyarados is the big damage source of the team, is what we're trying to do. We definitely want to run an offensive Gyarados. And then, of course, Raichu, Lightning Rod support. It's going to have Nuzzle, Fake Out, and an electric move. We can assure you that much. And then Hitmontop with Intimidate and Fake Out once again can help Gyarados set up even more. We're not 100% sure if we're running a Dragon Dance set, but just keeping that on paper, Hitmontop's typing works really well. And then we've got Duraludon, which Duraludon, we're going to have Dragon Tail on here. And that is going to help us against the Trick Room mode very much. And then Duraludon and Whimsicott are a great combination. I don't know if we will try to fit fake tears onto Whimsicott. It just seems... It doesn't synergize with the rest of the team very much at all.
No, right.
But Duraludon and Whimsicott does not have to have fake tears to be strong. So, cool. And then Bisharp gives us our Defiant, which we definitely wanted. And I think the typing works very well. It's good against a lot of the Pokemon that Gyarados isn't good against. So, such as Dragapult, Tyranitar, okay against Hyperior, good against Duraludon, Dusclops, and okay against Gastrodon. So, Bisharp seems pretty cool on paper. You know, as we go down the road, maybe we can slowly improve our Bisharp play. But on paper, he seems very good.
Yeah, I've never actually used Bisharp before, so
yeah,
I'm a newbie here.
I used to use Bisharp in like 2015. He was really good there. The first tournament I ever won was a Premier Challenge. I had Bisharp on my team, so that was cool.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but I haven't used him in a long time, so we got to shake the rust off here.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look at the brainstorming things that we came up with. How many of them we hit? So we hit the Defiant Competitive. We hit Duraludon with Dragon Tail. And then we just brought up if we're going to go Moxie or Dragon Dance, which I think we are going to go Moxie for this team. And then we have Hitmontop. We have the hard Trick Room counter. We said if running Dragon Dance, we should have Follow Me. So obviously this team doesn't have Follow Me. That doesn't mean we can't run Dragon Dance, but it's something to think about. And then Weakness Policy is something to think about as well, but I don't know about that. And then Helping Hand, we put question mark and Brick Break, which we can have options for both of those. We can have Brick Break Raichu. And then we actually have 3 potential helping handers in Whimtop and Raichu, so cool.
That's true.
And then we said, can we fit Tyranitar? So we wanted to fit Tyranitar because he is good against a lot of this stuff, but honestly, Bisharp and Duraludon are as well. So this will be our first iteration of the team. But, so Alca, as the Gyarados Raichu master you are, just looking at these 6 mons, what is your heart saying? What kind of item or set you would want to run on Gyarados?
I'm not too sure about Weakness Pulse actually, because there's actually Gyarados is the only rock mon weak to rock in this team, so it's not as easy to like bait out rock side stuff. Even though it's easy when you have Gyarados, but you can't really switch into them as easily. Yeah. So that's something to consider. I think it still could be decent, of course. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think AV also could be decent. Because we don't have like Duraludon is very weak to special hits, and
yeah, I
think it would be nice to have like a good mon that could take special hits well, like Gyarados with AV can. So something to consider for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. So I don't know if it fits perfectly onto this team, but you know, it's been a few days since the last episode. We've kind of been both having our ideas flowing, and I was just thinking that I more and more liked the idea of Life Orb Gyarados.
Life Orb is good.
It's really cool how it boosts your attack to a pretty high level just right off the bat. You know, we don't need a Dragon Dance. We don't need our Weakness Policy proc. It's pretty cool. It helps you get that first Moxie boost like that much easier.
It really gets a lot of KOs on its own. Like you can suddenly KO most like Fake Out plus Max Geyser into or Max Airstream into like Grimmstar KOs most of the time. Most Grimmstar sets.
That's strong.
That's like something to it's really nice. So it's you can get a lot of clutch KOs with it. So it's I think it's a very good item to consider.
Okay, cool. So yeah, what I was saying was I do like Life Orb, but then to complete my thought, Duraludon and Bisharp are also Pokemon that really like to hold Life Orb. So I think we are definitely going to have a Life Orb for sure.
For sure.
Because I think Life Orb is such an amazing item in this meta because of how it does work with Dynamax, how you only take half the recoil for the full amount of damage.
Yeah.
So I do like the idea of Life Orb Gyarados, but we will we'll wait to flesh this out. But I guess let's flesh out some moves that we definitely know we're gonna have. So I would definitely say Gyarados is gonna have Bounce and Waterfall. Those are for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Max Airstream is absolutely amazing. Bounce isn't the best move ever, but you pretty much...
It's good in... Yeah, you need it on the Moxie for sure.
Yeah. And
the main move.
Yeah, you don't really use it out of Dynamax super often.
I mean, it can actually be pretty, like... It can can come in handy at times, like when you want to stall out Trick Room and stall out Tailwinds and stuff. So it can be. I mean, it has won me games before, so it's of course it's not a perfect move outside of Dynamax. But it's not like a terrible move either. So yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I think moves like Bounce, like Phantom Force, are the best they've ever been in Pokemon VGC.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of how they work, how you can just completely dodge a Dynamax move is actually pretty crazy. And then, guys, if you guys didn't remember, Bounce actually has a 30% chance to paralyze. It's only 85% accurate, so I don't know what the exact chance of paralyzing them is. It's probably like 20 or something like that.
Probably lower, yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, always, you got to get that hacks, baby.
There.
We're playing VGC.
Yeah, sure.
All right, and then so Raichu, we definitely want Fake Out and Nuzzle. I think these are the most important here. And then, so now I'm thinking with how kind of hyper offensive our team looks. You know, Bisharp's not the best switch in. Duraludon's an okay switch in. Whimsicott's not the best switch in. It almost makes me think Volt Switch isn't quite as good as Thunderbolt, maybe. Volt Switch is amazing, but I don't think it is like 100% slap on. Like, I think we can have a conversation about it.
Yeah, we can have a conversation. I think, I mean, I'm like a really big Volt Switch guy, as someone may know. Like, I think it's like a very good move, even though it's true, like you said, we don't have like great defensive switch-ins. We can definitely have the conversation, whether to have like Wall Tackle instead or something. So we'll see.
So I think we'll just fill in these two moves, but we will come back to that. So let's just hop over to Hitmontop. So we got Intimidate. Just want to make sure we got the abilities right. I'm sure we've all started a showdown game with the wrong abilities. All right, so I think Hitmontop should definitely have Fake Out and Close Combat. I would say those are the 200%.
Yeah.
I think Close Combat is just such a high damaging move. It helps.
It's such a great move just to have in the back.
Yeah, it helps you get over like Hitmontop's relatively low base attack of 95 and all that stuff. So cool. And then Duraludon, we said we wanted a Dragon Tail.
Yep.
But to be honest, I think that like Draco Meteor and Flash Cannon are pretty much like necessary as well.
Yeah, those are standard moves. We need those.
Yeah, it's just Draco Meteor makes your max Wormwind a lot stronger. And then I used a lot of Duraludon at the beginning of the format, and Dragon Pulse is just very lackluster. So I would rather,
very weak.
Yeah,
so,
I would just rather run Draco Meteor and then have this fourth slot, you know, as something maybe like Thunderbolt, Dark Pulse maybe, but we'll get more into that. But then Bisharp, of course, is I think Iron Head. And then I think Bisharp's dark move of choice. I mean, he doesn't really have a choice. Oh yeah. I was about to go into. I think it has Throat Chop, but
Oh, it does. Yeah, okay. But I think Sucker Punch at least is a no-brainer.
Yeah, and I think Bisharp should have Protect, unless we're gonna go with some choice band thing. But I mean, I guess we could hold off on that.
Yeah,
who knows? Who knows?
We'll see.
Yeah. And then Moonblast. I just called Whimsicott Moonblast. So for Whimsicott, we'll definitely have Tailwind. That's a for sure. And honestly, I think that's the only 100% Whimsicott move that we're gonna want as of now.
Yeah, I think also Protect is just.
Yeah,
good.
I agree with that. I think I would fight for it as well. I just think with how big Fake Out is, especially with Incineroar now, like Whimsicott just like, you know, some people run Helping Hand to try and like get around it. Like, okay, I'll just Helping Hand and then die. It's like, well, not really worth
a great
it.
Solution.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So a move that I was kind of thinking would be cool. Maybe we don't have to throw it on right now, but it sounds kind of cool to try and run Tickle Whimsicott because it lowers their attack and defense. So
yeah, I mean, I've seen people run Tickle. I mean, it's of course a bit memey, but I'm sure it's. I mean, it's a. Yeah, we can try.
I just like the idea of being able to. So like there'll be certain situations where it's like Charm-esque, like we want to lower their attack, but then there's other situations where like we tickle and attack with Bisharp or Gyarados and we get that KO from the defense drop.
Yeah, right.
So just an idea. I'm not gonna throw it on, but
I mean, the team is very physical so far, so I think it should be good.
Okay, well, sweet. So now I guess we should kind of talk about what kind of items we want to try. Of course, guys, this is just our first iteration, so nothing's gonna be amazing at first. But So we kind of did talk about our items. So let's talk about Raichu. I think this is going to change the pace of the team a lot. If we do go with Assault Vest, you know, Duraludon and Gyarados aren't going to be able to hold that. Even Hitmontop to an extent. And then if we go with Focus Sash, you know, Whimsicott and Bisharp aren't going to be able to hold that either. So with teams like this where you have lots of squishy Pokemon like Whimsicott, like Bisharp, like Raichu, you know, this is where people get pretty creative with their items. You know, sometimes you see that Babiri Berry Whimsicott. Sometimes you see that Air Balloon Raichu, stuff like that.
Plate for sure.
Yeah, Pixie Plate on Whimsicott is cool as well. But so, yeah, what, I guess what are you thinking, Alca? Where do you think our Focus Sash should go?
Yeah, I think, my opinion is Whimsicott, probably. I just think it's so good on Whimsicott to get that, like, for sure, at least 1 or 2 attacks off, or moves off.
Yeah.
I think it's too valuable.
I agree. Whimsicott with Focus Sash is definitely the easiest to, you know, play with. I think it makes Whimsicott's job a lot easier when you have a Focus Sash.
Yeah, at least out of those 3, out of Raichu, Bisharp, and Whimsicott, I think Whimsicott is like the obvious first priority.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And so do you think that probably locks in an Assault Vest Raichu, or do we want to kind of talk about the possibility of safety goggles? I guess, how does our team look against Venusaur currently?
We have 2 fake out users, so I think it should be like okay in theory.
Yeah.
With, also with Gyarados, who deals super effective damage with Max Airstream, I think it should be okay. But it's really valuable having the luxury of like being able to say protect Gyarados 1 turn, and like nuzzle Raichu with nuzzle Venusaur with Raichu the other turn without fear of being slept. Without having safety goggles. I think that's like a really nice thing to be able to do.
I do think that is possible. I think it's just we would need to make sure that Raichu could somehow survive a Earth Power from.
Yeah, I've actually like been in calc in the damage calc a lot past days, trying to make a Raichu set with safety goggles, and it's been really hard because it's just so squishy, and I think the AV helps a lot because you can. I'm in defense because you have like good special defense already with the AV, but without AV it's difficult to like actually take hits.
Yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, let's go with the Sash onto Whimsicott, and then so the decision is between Assault Vest and Safety Goggles. From the calc I just looked up, you would have to be very, very bulky to be able to survive a modest Earth Power from Venusaur with Life Orb. So I mean, obviously that's like the strongest Venusaur's ever going to be able to hit you.
That's the worst case scenario.
But you can definitely survive it, like with Raichu, because you know we don't need a lot of special attack investment, that kind of stuff.
Like with my AV sets, I run 4 special attack and rest in bulk. Like I always run 180 speed to be faster than Charizard. That's like my benchmark, like minimum speed on Raichu. So I think like it could compromise a bit in speed with and rest of some bulk, and you can also compromise special attack for sure. You're so weak physically, like you die to almost everything if you don't max it out. So even if you max it out, you're still super squishy. Yeah, that's like the problem. Yeah,
that is a Raichu problem.
That's a Raichu problem.
But I mean, to be honest, I think just looking at R6, I think I agree that we are pretty solid against Venusaur, so I don't think we need safety goggles. So are we cool with not having Assault Vest on Duraludon? So when Assault Vest is on Raichu, that usually implies that Whimsicott and Duraludon are going to be really offensive, you know, like Life Orb Duraludon or something. But I personally don't want fake tears on Whimsicott when we only have Duraludon. But then, if we are running our Assault Vest, we talked about how we wanted Brick Break, and then this could be a weakness policy Duraludon. Right. I mean, it sounds...
Yeah, I mean, sure.
In this meta, like, it's not as cheesy as it sounds, just because of how...
No, I mean, it's not too bad.
How weakness policy, like, works with Dynamax is just ridiculous. Honestly, that... It's like a weight off our shoulders that we can put the Life Orb onto someone else. Like Bisharp could hold it, or Gyarados. So I mean, do you think that sounds a bit too cheesy, or what do you think?
I kind of like it actually, because it also means we can compromise the special attack of like the EVs and Duraludon a bit with the weakness policy, so we can invest more in special defense and more in HP, which I think is really nice because we can't use the AV on Duraludon. I think that's like that's a perk of it, being able to. Like, we don't have to max out special attack to get good damage because we can always proc the weakness policy.
Cool. I mean, I like the idea too. I think that Duraludon's weakness policy getting procced isn't insanely hard, just with how common ground moves are in the meta.
Yeah.
And then, you know, fighting moves are picking up a little bit just because of the threat of Incineroar. So, I mean, let's give it a try. I mean, once again, this is our first iteration of the whole team. So, I mean, it's not going to be perfect right off the bat.
Yeah, no, something to consider is if we don't run weakness policy, or even if we run, we can actually run like Eerie Impulse and Raichu, which is like really good with Duraludon because it protects it from those big special hits. Which is something I did like with Durant as well. Like Durant is so weak, especially right with Eerie Impulse, it gets a lot stronger. So that's something like that's a nice little synergy there.
Okay. So when I was using Eerie Impulse, first of all, we would not be able to run Assault Vest on Raichu. One thing with Eerie Impulse is like I was just kind of looking down the list of Pokemon, and it really seems like the only big special attacker in the meta is Togekiss, and it has a 50% chance to ignore Eerie Impulse.
Yeah, I guess like it's like more in the start of Series 3 there was more special attackers. Now there's a lot of like triple ghost stuff, and like even if Dragapult is special, you can't even lower its special attack. So
I think after we play a little bit with this team, with these items, so AV, Raichu, Weakness Pulse, and Duraludon, if it's not working out, if Duraludon's just dying too easily, then I think we could look to switch things up for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay, cool. So now we've kind of got our item. We're gonna go with Weakness Pulse and Duraludon. We'll give that a shot. Sash, Whimsicott, Assault Vest, Raichu. So Gyarados, Hitmontop, and Bisharp each need an item. And so we do have a Life Orb open, which is very important. I think that should go on something. The Bisharp team that had the most success this format, the one made by Case Victory, that was the Gengar Bisharp team. That was a Life Orb Bisharp. So Life Orb, So Life Orb Bisharp definitely has its merit. I'm actually gonna do a little calc here. I actually want to see if Bisharp can kill a Dragapult with Sucker Punch without having Life Orb.
I think check.
Yeah, so Adamant attack Sucker Punch into Dragapult is a 93% chance to KO.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's not 100, which kind of sucks. But I mean, you know, we could just run Black Glasses or something if we really wanted to. But
yeah, I guess
it's not like, as bad as it sounds. But
like I take the 93%, man. I think that's like all right.
It's just a lot of Dragapults have been a lot more bulky, so that is just
like the
something.
bulk invested weakness policy Dragapults just that can be like an issue if you proc the weakness policy and just let them live. So
yeah, the weakest policy Dragapult you made for me, I think it was like 232 HP, 4 defense.
236 HP and 4 defense.
236. Cool. So if I threw a Life Orb onto here, I'm just curious if that kills. Yeah, it does. That would kill a bulky Dragapult.
Right.
But I mean, they're usually going to be Dynamaxing anyway, so it's going to be hard for them to even. It's going to be hard for you to even get that attack off into Dragapult.
Yeah, no, I think we can also like consider that like a lot of those teams are running Instant now, so it's gonna proc your Defiant Boost and stuff. So with +2, you definitely Oko Dragapult with the Sucker Punch, like because I've been Oko by that myself. I think Life Orb is good actually because it gives you like that much more the boost against those bulky sets.
Sorry, I'm wondering if you know this because I am not 100% sure. If you Sucker Punch on the first turn of Phantom Force, does it hit them?
I think so.
I hope so.
Sure. That would be very, very strange if it didn't, but I'm pretty sure it does.
So I did look up Black Glasses, and then that is a 93% chance to KO the Dragapult. And then that also lets us try to fit the Life Orb onto Gyarados. But actually, I think we should pause. I'm glad we did get our thoughts out about Bisharp a little bit. But, so, now looking at this team, Alca, what are you thinking for Gyarados? So I mentioned Life Orb, and then I don't think Dragonance is completely out of the equation. I don't think we should run Life Orb and Dragonance, personally. But I think that now that we have a Whimsicott, like, Gyarados doesn't need Dragonance as hard just because we have that initial speed control. So that makes the Life Orb Gyarados look a little more appealing to me. What do you think?
I think I like the Life Orb as well. Like I'm sure if it's if it's better on Bisharp or not. But I think it's like I really liked it when I used Life Orb because it lets you like get really clutch KOs, as I said earlier. So in the Life Orb wagon right now, like
Okay.
I think I like it. Yep.
Cool. So do you want to? Let's just throw it in, and we will give this a try on our first team.
Sure.
And then, so now that we know our item on Gyarados, I think initially, I think the quick lock-in would be to throw Power Whip and Protect on here. Do you like that combination?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Power Whip to get through Gastrodon is paramount. I think Protect on Gyarados is very, very nice, especially with the fact that we're going to be trying to get these boosts up, and then we're going to be wanting to get into more defensive positions. So maybe Protect, bring in Hitmontop. Protect, Volt Switch out. Protect, set up a Tailwind or get Whimsicott in. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think if we were running a way more setup heavy Gyarados, big Dragon Dance, maybe a Lumberry, with like Follow Me Mons, Dragon Dance looks that much more appealing. Dropping Protect and having Dragon Dance looks that much more appealing. But I actually like the 3 attacks Protect. I think it's very simple, and with how much attack investment and support we have, I think getting the Moxie boosts won't be too difficult.
Yeah, no, I think I really like having the Protect. Dragon Dance would do like the same job when you're Dynamax, but I like really having the option to Protect and Nuzzle with your Raichu to get the speed advantage and get back in speed control. I think that's like super useful to have.
Well, cool. I am very satisfied with that Gyarados set. And guys, I think we'll be going into, I think we'll do EVs and then some battles in the next episode. So I guess I do have a question about EVs. I just love the thought of being Adamant Gyarados, just going like super high like damage. But like, of course, guys, if you are Jolly, you have to be Jolly max speed, almost max speed, to outspeed a Dragapult at +1. Like,
you do.
But it's just how important is that when we have not only max Airstream, which is what I was including when I say +1, but we do have Nuzzle, we do have Tailwind. So it's like, I
don't think it's super important.
You still think it's important?
No, I don't think it's that important actually.
Oh, okay.
With
Yeah.
Nuzzle.
I wanted to throw that idea out there that I like, since we're not running Dragon Dance, I like the idea of being as strong as humanly possible on the first attack. So we will go into EVs, but I just want to say, I like the idea of Adamant Gyarados on paper.
Yeah, I mean, you could KO a lot of stuff with that Life Orb Adamant Gyarados with a hit super hard.
And when you're Adamant and we don't have Follow Me, as you can see. When you're Adamant, we can take a little bit of that speed investment out and make our Gyarados just that much more bulky too. So just a thought, but cool.
For sure.
So we've got Life Orb Gyarados, AV Raichu, Weakness Policy Ludon, and Whimsicott. And so the Life Orb is now gone. And then we've got Hitmontop and Bisharp. Bisharp cannot hold Life Orb or Focus Sash. Those are honestly Bisharp's 2 favorite items.
Yeah.
So he's a bit lost right now. So I think, let's kind of think of some cool items Bisharp could go for. Honestly, I did just talk about Black Glasses. I mean, it's 20% boost to all your dark moves, and most Bisharps are running 2 dark moves, Iron Head, Sucker Punch, Blank, usually Throat Chop. I think that's definitely the best option, or Protect. So that it keeps that hyper offense element of our team going, boosting our damage. But do you have any other ideas for a Bisharp item, Alca?
I think Black Glasses sounds fine. I can't really think of anything at the moment, but that would be good. Like a damage thing, like you take half damage from super effective attacks, like a Fighting Berry or Fire Berry or something. But I'm not sure how useful that would be, to be honest.
Okay. I think the Fighting Berry is a little bit too ambitious. I think we're still gonna die. But the Ground Berry sounds kind of cool. So
Shuka Berry, right?
Yeah. So I think Shuka Berry sounds all right. We're not gonna be quite as offensive as we thought, but that's fine. No. So there's Shuka Berry. There is Air Balloon, kind of weird, but Air Balloon. I personally don't have a lot of experience playing with it. I think it's actually kind of like a high skill cap item. Like you definitely need to have a lot of practice with it.
I don't love Air Balloon, to be honest. Like I just think it's a really dumb. Like you tell your item like right away. I just think it's so stupid. I don't know.
It's a very weird item, and then sometimes it's like useless, but then sometimes it's like, oh my god, this Air Balloon is like ruining my fucking day. You know what I mean? When you're an Excadrill and then you see Air Balloon Excadrill on the other team, you're like, god damn.
That's annoying for sure.
Yeah.
I think that in that situation, like a sash would do the same job, like in most cases, because
Mhm.
you could like when you're Exca versus Exca, you can pop their sash, and
Yeah.
you lose your own sash, but you can just take them out next round with the ground move after you like pop their air balloon.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
you know what I mean? I think it's.
Well,
I don't think it's that useful, to be honest.
okay, I'm totally cool with that. So I think right now, kind of what we've talked about, I think I'm down to just try black glasses and see how it goes. You're
Sure.
cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And so do you think since we are running black glasses, we should run a second dark move? I was kind of, so Bisharp's move pool is not very big. I was kind of
Yeah, I don't know
thinking substitute could be kind of cool.
Yeah, I kind of like substitute actually. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, because so we'd be giving up, our only dark move would be Sucker Punch. So on paper that would be a lot harder to hit things like Dusclops that aren't really going to be attacking.
Right.
Let's see. I see Throat Chop. That's a dark move. But then actual attacks, I see Stone Edge. I mean, that's like a...
That's
it's,
cool, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't even know it got that, to be honest.
Yeah, no, me neither.
And then I see X Scissor. That...
X
Lowering
Scissor?
special attack, I guess, but I mean, Bug just isn't the best offensive
It's energy.
typing.
No, it's not.
I don't think this is good, but Shadow Claw, it's like it lowers defense with the max move.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
It's not the worst idea.
It's not terrible. Some people run Shadow Claw extra build, so.
Oh, dude, Assurance on Bisharp, that's actually kind of hype.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
So Assurance, guys, if you didn't know, is a move that it deals 60 damage normally, but if the target has already taken damage, it doubles to 120. So
yeah, I mean, with Sasha it would be a lot better for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. But so I guess the reason why would be Raichu's definitely faster than Raichu's definitely faster than Bisharp, so it can proc the Assurance double. So's Hitmontop. This is both fake outs, okay, but then Raichu's Nuzzle, stuff like that. Duraludon, you know, will probably be faster than Bisharp. Whimsicott will probably be faster than Bisharp, and then Gyarados will probably be faster than Bisharp. But like Alca said, Assurance, it's a lot easier to get up when you're guaranteed not to die, right? With Focus Sash. So it's something to think about, but I don't think it's too perfect. So
like, Throat Chop seems fine at the moment for me.
Okay, I think it synergizes the best with just having a black glasses boost. You know, it's safe.
It does.
Okay, so let's go with Throat Chop. And then something that I think is really important when you're kind of team building, playing with the team, is like, we should keep Assurance in our minds, and we should mark every time that when we're in a battle, we wish we had Assurance instead. I think that's always a very good element for team building, guys. If you are team building your own team and you can't decide between this move or that move, just write down every time Throat Chop won you the game or you needed it, and then write down every time I wish I had Assurance this turn instead. So I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But so, all right, we've got a full moveset on Bisharp. Pretty much a full moveset on Raichu. I think this is Volt Switch or Thunderbolt for sure. Yeah. And then Hitmontop, we've got some thinking to do, and then Duraludon, we've got one last attack. I guess let's look at Duraludon. Now, if we were to run Dark Pulse, that lowers their special defense. You know, that boosts Duraludon's damage, and I guess Whimsicott's damage too. We would be choosing that over Thunderbolt. I guess we should
protect for that matter.
Oh, that's true. Honestly, I forgot. Yeah. But okay, so that's actually like a big conversation in itself. Is are we cool with having less coverage on Duraludon? Because Dragon Tail's obviously like a stop Trick Room support move, so we would be only Dragon and Steel Duraludon. So let's kind of look at some Pokemon we would not be able to hit. Incineroar we hit with this Dragon. Excadrill we wouldn't be able to hit for not neutral, but that's kind of how Duraludon rolls against Excadrill anyway. Like Dark Pulse to hit Excadrill. Yeah. And then Rotom we've got Dragon. Dragapult we've got Dragon. Venusaur we've got both. Conkeldurr both. Tyranitar both. Milotic just Dragon, but we'd give it a competitive boost if we're Dynamax.
Right. Yeah, so, I mean, with Dark Pulse we would do the same though, so it's...
Yeah.
I guess with the Max Lightning would be good against. Of course, but...
So Max Lightning looks good for the Milotic matchup. I also really like how Max Lightning deals with Yawn teams.
Very true. Very true.
Especially looking at our team, we have 5 grounded Pokemon. So Lightning, Electric Flame works that much better with it. I'm not going to lock it in right now, but of course I want to get my thoughts out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rhyperior, we can hit him with both. Grimmsnarl, just Steel. Duraludon, Dragon. Rotom, Dragon. Charizard, Dragon. So, yeah. Electric would be good against Charizard as well. But if we're not Assault Vest, Duraludon, it makes Duraludon like a lot worse against Charizard. Because you can just die to like a Sunny Day, G-Max, Wildfire, or whatever.
Yeah, true. Okay,
so Max Lightning looks cool on paper, but then obviously it's a lot easier to get your weakness policy procced if you are running Protect. So, sorry, I was rambling on, Alca. What move speaks to you this last move on Duraludon the most?
Like at the moment, I think actually Protect speaks to me the most, because I think just having the option to protect your weakness policy mons is really nice, because it's going to be like a focus a lot of the time. Just having that option is very nice. I also agree with that. Like Max, having the electric coverage, because like Raichu is not going to do a lot of damage anyways. So I think it's simple. It's really nice to have the electric coverage, but I think then again, is it better than Protect? I don't know.
Okay, cool. So I'm just taking my note list over to the other monitor, because I got like lots of lists over here. But I'm actually going to open up a new little notepad. And this, I'm going to start writing down the things that we're going to want to be paying attention to in our battles. You know how I just said we should take a look at tabs on Assurance versus Throat Chop. So how about we do Protect on Dura versus Fourth Attack. Cool. All right, so we will try Protect for now. So we've got, so now we just need an item on Hitmontop. We've been kind of neglecting our little support friend here.
Yeah, I have run Hitmontop in the past with the Gyarados Raichu team, and I ran the eject button, which I liked a lot.
I was going to bring that up. I think eject button is really cool when you're against a faster fake out. They fake out you, and then you get that big momentum swing. You could even bring in Hitmontop just right off the bat the next turn for like 2 intimidates in 2 turns, which is pretty cool.
I love a fake out. I mean eject button. So right now I'm leaning on eject button for sure.
It's like when Hitmontop's done its job, it helps you get in one of the offensive Pokemon like Duraludon, like Bisharp, next to Gyarados, for example. I think it's pretty cool. The only other item I was even thinking of bringing up was Koba Berry, the flying weakness berry. I think, but then it's just like, what is Hitmontop going to do if it takes that max airstream from Togekiss or whatever? Like, what is it benefiting on the field? But I was so I was about to say, I think the way that it benefits the most on the field is if it were to have Helping Hand, which was one of the moves we did want to try and fit on.
Sure.
And I think that's also really good with the eject button, because Helping Hand is like +5 priority or something. So you Helping Hand right at the beginning of the turn, and then if they switch you out, so be it. The Helping Hand boost stays even if Hitmontop switches out. Do you like the idea of Helping Hand as well?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's good.
Okay. Well, those are all great moves. So now, what do you think? What are you thinking for a 4th move on Hitmontop?
I'm kind of actually leaning on Sucker Punch on Hitmontop, because it's just so frustrating to not be able to hit Ghost types, and there's so many Ghost types right now. So like, when I played Hitmontop, I ran Fake Out, Close Combat, Feint actually, and Wide Guard, which was nice. Like it all came useful sometimes, but it just really missed the possibility to hit Ghost types. Like, that really hurt me sometimes.
Yeah, honestly, I agree. With how popular Triple Ghost is, the fact that you could Sucker Punch off Mimikyu's Disguise, you could Sucker Punch that Aegislash that isn't running King Shield. Like, I actually really like the idea of Sucker Punch. I think it keeps, sometimes support Pokemon are kind of, they sit there and do nothing for too long. And I think it makes Hitmontop that much more annoying. And just like Helping Hand goes first and then you get eject buttoned out, getting that Sucker Punch off before you get eject buttoned out is also cool synergy.
Yeah.
So I am definitely down to run Sucker Punch. I'm going to put in our notes, I think it would require way too much attack, but I'm just going to write how much EVs for Sucker to kill Aegislash Blade. It's probably way too much, but just an idea.
That's going to be a lot.
We came back to Hitmontop and we filled him in pretty good. Wow, things are wrapping up pretty well. We need 2 more attacks on our Whimsicott. Looking at Whimsicott, we got Protect, Tailwind. Great. To be honest, I I really would like an attack on Whimsicott. Just with what I just said about Hitmontop, I don't like it.
We need something, of course. We need something to hit.
I just don't like it when the support mon kind of has to sit there and not do too much.
100%. Yeah, we need like Moon Blaster, Energy Ball, something.
Okay, so I may be crazy here, but let's have a small conversation about Dazzling Gleam on Whimsicott. You do way less damage than Moonblast, but like it gets around, you know, like someone could go Togekiss and Focus Sash, Focus Slash, Excadrill, that kind of stuff. And then we don't have a single spread move on our entire team. So it's like I don't have much experience with Dazzling Gleam, but like maybe we could put it in here as like Dazzle versus Moonblast. I'm down to run Moonblast first, but like maybe there'll be some times.
No, because I really like actually Dazzling Gleam as well, because it lets you hit those like activate or remove the sashes and like remove the disguise and all that stuff. I think it's like I like the idea for sure.
Okay, cool. I'm glad that you are in agreement. So we've got one more move on Whimsicott. So now we've talked about wanting Helping Hand, but we've thrown that on our good friend Hitmontop here. To be honest, I kind of do want to bring up again that I think Tickle does look pretty cool.
Yeah, sure.
Like the physical, it lowers defense for Bisharp to hit harder. Oh, a really cool thing too is like, since Whimsicott is Prankster, Tickle will go before Sucker Punch because Whimsicott is faster.
Right, yeah.
So like the Tickle Sucker Punch combo looks kind of cool. So ignoring Tickle that I ever brought it up, what do you think? Like, let's get an argument going, I guess, on what another move we could run on Whimsicott is right now.
Sure. I haven't really used Whimsicott that much, like myself, to be honest. So like I guess like the standard that pops into my head is Taunt is an option. Fake Tears, of course, but that's not super great, as we talked about earlier. So I think like, yeah, that's what comes up in my head.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Fake Tears, it literally just helps Duraludon and, you know, Raichu's Volt Switch or whatever. But Tickle helps every single mon. Like, it lowers the defense for the 3 physical attackers, Gyarados, Top, Sharp. And then, I mean, it lowers the attack, which raises the bulk of literally every mon on the field. I am a big proponent of trying Tickle, but I'm just saying I think it's better than Fake Tears, personally.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think Encore is pretty cool. I think it's
also cool.
It's definitely underused because of how it works with Dynamax, which is pretty bad.
That is bad.
But there are just a lot of support mons right now that try and do stuff. I mean, like, even think about Mimikyu. Like, Mimikyu goes for Swords Dance while Dragapult max Airstreams. Like, you just make that Mimikyu useless because he can't Dynamax to get rid of it because his partner Dynamax. So, Encore is cool. Focus Sash Endeavor is also pretty cool. You can do that 1 HP.
Is he getting Endeavor?
Yeah, it does. It's just people aren't using it. Endeavor used to be really popular on Whimsicott. It's just because of once again how it works with Dynamax is pretty crappy. But
I kind of like Endeavor actually. I think it's a cool idea.
It's big damage. We could definitely try.
You can try if you want to. But,
okay.
I mean, is it better than Tickle or Taunt or something? I don't know, but I think it's a cool fun idea.
Okay.
Something new. People don't expect it, right?
I'm definitely down to think about it. Yeah, they really don't. Just because of how less popular it is.
Sure.
Tickle is cool with Gyarados without Dragonance, though. Maybe we could get those clutch KOs with the help of it.
True.
But then Whimsicott gets Light Screen, which is pretty cool. Boosts the special defense for 5 turns, priority.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. That can help Duraludon survive some hits. There's just so many cool moves we could try on here.
A lot of cool, yeah, for sure.
So
I didn't know got so many cool moves.
Whimsicott is very cool.
I never see people run like Light Screen and Endeavor and stuff. That's,
it just has so many moves, people can't decide, but like you can win games and even sets like at big tournaments just by that one surprise move on Whimsicott. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Well, so I think with how much I've talked about it, and then you've agreed, I'm not forcing you into it. You've agreed that Tickle does sound beneficial. I think we should give it a try. If it sucks, it sucks. But
yeah, we can try.
Okay, I'd like to try it. Cool, guys. I think we've got our whole movesets, and then we will go into EVs and actual battles in the next episode. So real quick conclusion, we're going to go with Life Orb Gyarados with Waterfall Bounce, Power Whip, Protect, and Moxie. Raichu, oh, here we go, right in the conclusion.
Oh, yeah, right.
So I think we should just throw, I think you personally want Volt Switch, right?
I kind of think so. I think he's also kind of good with, really good with Hitmontop.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really nice combo with Hitmontop. So I think let's start off with the Volt Switches to see.
Okay, I am totally down, and I will write Volt Switch versus Thunderbolt / Volt Type.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So conclusion, we are gonna go roll with Volt Switch. For our first iteration, Hitmontop, we've got Eject Button, Fake Out Close Combat, Helping Hand, Sucker Punch. Cool. Sucker Punch is going to be really nice against the Ghosties. And then Weakness Policy Duraludon with Draco Meteor, Flash Cannon, Dragon Tail to really help us nail that Trick Room matchup. And then Protect. Protect helps us get our Weakness Policy proc that much easier. It helps us get into better positions with our Fake Outs, our Tailwinds, all that stuff. And then Bisharp, so since our Life Orb and our Focus Sash are taken, we're going to try out Black Glasses Bisharp. It gives Bisharp the big enough boost to take out Dragon Bolt, Sucker Punch, that kind of stuff. With just 3 attacks and Protect, Defiant, of course. And Whimsicott, we're going to go with Moonblast, Protect, Tailwind, very standard. And then the one kind of wild card move on Whimsicott we're going to try out is Tickle, which Tickle, priority, of course, with Prankster, lowers their attack and their defense. So, you know, it's not quite as good as Screech. Maybe it's not quite as good as Charm, but it's just that much more versatile. You know, it can be used in a multitude of situations. So that is what we're going to try out. So, Alca, thank you so much, my friend, for spending your time with me. And we are getting that much closer to having the best Gyarados Raichu team on the planet. Well, guys, that is going to wrap up our episode 3. And like I said, next episode, we are going to fill in these EVs and then start playing on Showdown. So it'll be a great time. So, Alca, say goodbye to the lovely people.
Sure. See you guys.
And guys, we will see you guys back on episode 4. So stay tuned, my friends. Peace.